hip mobility is something that will help you. Here are my 5 favorite hip mobility exercises. The first exercise that I like to do the most is a deep squat. To get into a deep squat, just place your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. This will change from person to person. I like to keep my stance very wide, but that won't necessarily be your case. Then you will go down, and to the best of your ability, you will try not to raise your heels. If your heels do come up, that's okay. Don't stress it too much. One way you can try to counteract, one way you can try to stop your heels from coming forward is using a weight. By grabbing a weight, placing it in front of you, you're going to counter your body wanting to go backwards, lifting your toes to counter that. So using a weight will help you maintain this deep squat position and be here longer. There are some variations to the deep squat that I love to do. The first one, and the most simple one, would be just swinging. Swinging from side to side helps me get deeper and into the full range of motion of my hips. Once I'm comfortable with swinging, another thing that I like to do is just pushing one knee while blocking the other one with my tricep, adding a little bit more of a stretch to this position. Lastly, another thing that I like to do on the deep squats is doing a twist. Place your hand the same way, then go up and reach to the sky. You can do both sides. Another one of my favorite exercises is the horse stance. This one is a static exercise, but I believe that when done properly and consistently, you are going to develop stronger hips, hence you're going to develop more mobile hips. To go into a horse stance, what you would like to do is place your feet twice a shoulder width apart. Feet are going to be looking slightly to the outside, so not completely outside. You don't want to do 180 degrees. You want to do maybe 120 or 45-ish. Depends on how you're looking at it. You're going to place your feet, and then you're going to lower while maintaining your knees on the same line as your feet. You're going to lower yourself and try to go as low as your hip goes to the same level of your knees. Here would be, for me, the optimal horse stance. You can also go a little bit lower, and you can also take it a little bit higher. Depends on your level. Once you're comfortable with your horse stance, what I like to do here, first, also swinging. Another thing is twists. Just like the deep squat, you're going to block one hand while pushing your body and your knee with your other hand. That way you're adding a little bit more of a stretch. Lastly, another pretty cool thing to do on your horse stance is to do hinges. So you will go trying to keep the same level, hinge forward, and then come back up, forward, and up. For the third exercise, I'm starting to get into single leg variations. And for this one, it's going to be the Cossack squat. So you have a wide stance, pretty much like the horse stance, and you're going to squat to one of your legs. So you're going to go deep to one of your legs. At the beginning, you might only go up to here. Maybe you can go a little bit lower. One thing to help is thinking how are you going to place the other foot, the one that's not flexing? If you place that foot on the ground, it's going to require a lot more mobility for you. But if you raise your toe, that is going to allow you to go deeper and help on the flexibility. Once you have the Cossack squat mastered, or you're used to it, what I like to do is Cossack squat switches or swings. So we're going to go from one side to the other, going through a full range of motion. I can feel my hips opening in a lot of different angles. Very good. The next exercise that I want to show you is going to be an easier variation, and it's called 1990 rotations. So here what you want to do, for starters, I can find it two ways. One is go to the 1990 position. So by 1990 I mean your knee is forming a 90-degree angle as well as your foot, and then your other knee is also forming a 90-degree angle as well as your foot. You can stay here and just try to play around with the weight, see how it feels, move a little bit, and try to gain some mobility in the static position. Or you can do the 1990 switches, which would be lifting up and then going to the other side, trying to maintain 90 degrees on both of your knees. What will happen here is, at least to me, I tend to walk or butt scooch a little bit forward while I'm doing this. I do not think it is a problem. So that's my number 4 favorite hip mobility exercise. For the last one, last but not least, number 5, will be something that I like to call, or well, I just baptized it as straight leg windshields. Here I would prefer to have an item. Here I'm going to use this kettlebell style weight. And what I like to do, just maintain a straight leg. Both of my legs are straight. Point my toes, and then lift my leg and open it as wide as I can, and then do the same thing all the way to the back. So here I'm strengthening my hip flexor, also my core muscles, while gaining some range of motion on my hip. So here in this exercise, to start, you can also just lift the leg. It's going to be a good place to start. Keep in mind, the more forward you are with your torso, the harder it's going to be the exercise. So if you're laying like this, hands on your back, this is going to be easier. But when you go hands on your hips, it's going to be a bit harder. When you go hands next to your knees, here you want to start maybe like this. It's going to be a lot harder. Okay, so those were my 5 favorite hip mobility exercises. Try them out. See how they work for you. I love them, and I hope you love them too. See you next time. Keep moving.